All right, and welcome to February 8th, Rogue Trader Zigdao Bitcoin Options Fund Trading Daily Summary and live stream. Although we're not live streaming, we had a technical issue. Richard's on the road. His laptop died. He's stuck on an iPad. I couldn't get my software to integrate, so I'm going to do them bundled up in one. So it's a little bit of a bonus to you people who don't subscribe, because you're going to see a little bit of insight and trading. Just me today. Richard's on the road. He's heading off to Switzerland for some business meetings. And today and tomorrow, you got me. So what I'll do is at the end of the day, we'll just do a little summary and maybe we'll do a little bit of trading. So let's see what we got going on. Had some action, right? Had some action. We had we're in that flat market. We're kind of trying to make about $50 a day was sort of our goal. We weren't always making that much. I think yesterday we're maybe making $30 or something, or 28. But it was a little market, had low volatility. Let's just take a look at the volatility index here. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. And hey, we went up to about 46 or so. We're coming off a little bit this evening, but we certainly spiked up from this range of kind of 42 to 43. But we could certainly go a lot higher. We can see we're way up here at 52 back at the end of January. So let's take a look at what's going on. We've had this big move. We were being very cautious. We want to make sure that if the underlying asset price, it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, if it's gold, if it's oil, if it's the S&P 500, if it's the Russell, it doesn't matter if it's the YM, like the Dow, it does not matter what the asset is. Trading options is the same. Yes, each individual asset will have its own characteristic and volatility profiles, and typical expected range and expected moves and all that stuff. But we want to make sure that if there's a black swan event or a multi-standard deviation event, which are going to happen, they're going to happen more often in crypto than in the S&P. The S&P is a more mature market. It's a completely different market. So we want to make sure that we're protected so that we don't get killed if we get a 20% move one way or the other. So that's why we're always buying wing protection. And if you think about the bell curve, that wing protection is on the outside of that bell curve. Those multi-standard deviation events. It's very important to have some protection. You might not make money on those moves, but at least you're not going to lose nearly as much, and you can stay in the game and keep fighting for another day. Because we sort of have two rules when we're trading a fund. Don't have big drawdowns. Yes, losses happen. It's trading, but don't have big drawdowns. Rule number 2 is you've got to turn a profit. Otherwise, you're not going to be a fund manager for too long. So we've got to play things safe. We've got to make sure we're protected. We've got to watch our Vega. We've got to watch our Gamma. We have to watch our Theta. We have to watch our margin, especially as retail traders. We really have to watch our margin. And that's a really nice reason for having wing protection. Wing protection keeps your margin in check. Plus, it allows us to build spreads off of the protection we have in place. And it's just going to help you trade better, sleep better at night, by having that wing protection. Anyways, I don't want to go on about wing protection too much. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Feb 9. Well, the only thing we've got sold short of these 41,500s, I'm just going to let them expire. Sure, the market could drop $5,000 and screw me, but I'll just let those expire. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see what we got for the 10th. We've only got some short calls right now at 45,500. So they're slightly out of the money. They were starting to look a bit scary there. Bitcoin went up to 45,400 or something. It looked like you might want to consider managing them. Some discretionary accounts. I had 44s, I had 45s, I had 45s and a half, I had 46, I had 47s. So I was managing some of those. I was strangling them out. I was moving them around. I was shifting them up and out into puts and all over the place, just dispersing risk. I love dispersing risk. So it's nice and easy. So you can sleep easy at night. But we've got this. Let's see what happens. This expires on Saturday morning. Hey, for all I know, by Saturday morning, we'll be at 44 and a half or 44. We've got a little bit of time. I don't want to get too panicky. The golden rule, though, is it's always a lot easier to roll an option, a short option, before it gets in the money. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Let's take a look at Feb 11. Now, all I did for Feb 11 this morning, I put in some wing protection. Here's talking about wing protection. That's these lower delta, and we're talking about 8, 9, 10% out of the money. I've got some coverage there. I've got long, some options there. If this thing shoots up to 47, 48, well, guess what? I'm going to be selling calls against that because I've got protection. If this thing drops quickly to 43, 42, I'm going to be selling puts because I've got protection in place. And I got it dirt cheap, dirt cheap. Okay. So I think I was actually trying for some orders. I might actually sell some 47s. Tell you what, let's see. These are an 11 delta, or sorry, a 14 delta. Um, that's not bad. Tell you what, why don't we just say, look, if this thing wants to spike a little bit overnight, go back up and challenge its highs, which will probably get us filled up in the 30s. Let's put an order up there. So let's put an order up, let's say 34. And we're gonna sell a little bit up there. Again, we've got some protection, so I'm okay with that. Let's say we drop overnight, something crazy, right? Well, let's consider selling some puts. So maybe I'll put these puts up at, 28, 29, something like that. I mean, the odds of these getting filled are slim. One thing I want to say here, I don't normally leave orders out in the market to say, oh, maybe they'll get hit. In this case, I have done a little bit. It's a very short term. I don't mind. You have to be careful when you're doing this. What if the market moves 20%? These fills will look not so good if the market did that, right? I have protection in place, so I know I have limited risk, limited draw. That's why I'm doing this in this case. If I was just looking for a fill and then adding the protection later, I wouldn't float orders like that and leave them unattended. I'd rather wait for the market to move than jump on a move. Okay, I want to be very, very clear about that. Let's see what else is going on here. We've got the 16th. We're pretty balanced here. We could sell another put, but they're not worth a lot. I can see we've got an order here. Sell it 06. Oh, it's a 6. So yeah, that'll be. I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel that. Oh, why is it not letting me do that? Come on now. Come on now. Come on, we're live. Yeah, it's not working. I've been noticing that with Deribit. Maybe it's a little bit of bug, or maybe it's something I'm doing wrong, but I'll cancel that order later. For this, I'm going to leave it. Look, we've got 46,000s. These are next Friday. I mean, we're talking about 7 days away, right? So could it be above 46,000 next Friday? Heck yeah, it's Bitcoin. It'd be at 56,000. I don't know. So we're going to see what happens here. We've got a little bit short. I'm hoping for a pullback. We can sell some puts against, but let's just leave that for now. End of Feb. Boy, oh boy. I'd like to get some more puts on if I could. I've got some orders out here. We'll see if we get a little bit of a pullback. Maybe I'll get hit on some of those. Now you can see I don't have as much coverage. We should have some coverage up here. I'm not sure how that happened. Normally we do. I'm not worried about it too much because I buy short-term coverage all the time. So leading up to this, I will have coverage no matter what. Normally, when we're entering these orders, we will also put out a covering order to buy. Again, I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll consult with Richard and all that, but it's not a big deal. I've got the short-term coverage, not a problem. And we still got the risk reversals out here. I'm not going to do anything out that far. I think I'm just going to sit on my hands for that. So I don't really think there's much trading I want to do outside of the orders I've just entered. So we can see our theta here is about $32 a day. I'd like to get that a bit higher. I'd like to, in this market environment, I'd like to have that maybe closer to 40 or 50. Ideally, but we could continue up. This could be the start of a big uptrend. And you never want to, shoot your whole wad. If you're a shotgun shooter, anyways, you don't want to shoot everything too early. Look, our margin's at 31%. I can probably bring that down a little bit. Look, our worst case scenario here is price up and fall down. So I can make some trades. I don't need to adjust. I don't need to bring this margin down. It's just fine. But as I'm putting on more positions, I might choose to put on short-term coverage in order to reduce that margin bill. But I'm okay with it. Look, our Vega's minus 20, our Theta's $32 a day. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad for a small account. Look, we're at 5,537. We were a little bit higher earlier in the day, but we're near all-time highs for this account. We're up over 10%. We're just going to go steady Eddie because we never know what the market's going to throw at us. We could just kind of chunk, and be at 50,000 before we know it, and we'll regret selling too much down here. So we want to sell into strength, and we want to sell into high volatility. As the volatility is rising, we want to sell into it and then unload that as volatility comes down. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I think that we've covered everything we need to cover. Feb 11 is where I've got those orders out. 34. So basically, I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm just going to sit and wait and see what the market wants to do. Now, tomorrow is options expiry, and there's, I can't remember, 1.2 billion in expiry happening. So I don't want to get too aggressive. I'd like to see what happens tomorrow and tomorrow night during the US session. Maybe we're going to push up, in which case maybe I will get some fills. Up here, I'll be hunting. Other than that, I think steady as she goes. We're pretty happy with everything. Our account's coming along nicely. Hey, if we keep pushing onto our all-time highs, that's all we can hope for, right? We'll just keep growing and growing and growing this account. So let's hope that we have a calm night overnight. I have a lot of discretionary accounts where I've sold a lot of calls, so I'd love to have a little bit of a pullback, 500, $1,000 bucks. That'd be beautiful for me. But hey, the market has a habit of not doing what you want it to do, and we've got to deal with that. That's our job as traders. So we've got to make sure we're never in a position where we have to do something. We want to feel like, yeah, we'll do something because we want to. Okay, it takes a long time to learn that skill. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and let's see what the market brings us overnight. We'll catch you tomorrow. Hey, and thanks for watching our daily summary video. For those of you who want to learn more, I would invite you to come and watch the full videos. These full videos are where Richard and I sit down every day, sometimes multiple times per day. We discuss the market, the metrics, our account, everything you can possibly imagine, and we execute the trades in real time. You get to see it all. Where else could you see professional fund traders do this in an account specifically set up for you, the viewer, to learn all the tips and tactics we've learned over the last 50 years combined? Now, this is for silver members and above. If you go to roguetrader.academy, silver members and above get access to this live stream every day, as well as the recordings. On top of that, there's a weekly Ask Me Anything call. And as the name implies, you can ask us anything. Plus, you get access to all of our courses. We put out a new course every 3 or 4 months approximately. Plus, you get access to our interactive live alerts Telegram channel. And this is a Telegram channel where we're putting our trades in real time as we make them, but it's interactive. That's what makes it different. So you can ask us questions. We will chat back and forth during the day with all of our members. It's super, super incredible value. So do yourself a favor. Head over to roguetrader.academy, join up, and we'll see you soon.